Well, what's up again there, guys? Brian here at 3Tier Hey, give you another awesome movie review. In fact, this will end up being my first movie review for 2019, and it just so happens to be one of my most anticipated films of the year, that being Dragon Ball Super Broly. Now, I'm going to do things a little bit differently this year, and I'm going to start off by going off with everything I did like about this film, and then follow up with everything I didn't like, and then I'll be able to give my rating afterwards. So, starting off with everything I absolutely loved about this film. I'm just going to say this right now. If you are a fan of Dragon Ball, in any capacity, there is no way you're not going to come out of this film having a damn good time. This is a great film. Mostly everything about it works. I think that the direction of it was great. I thought that the characters, especially Goku and Vegeta and surprisingly Broly, have a good amount of time of the film focused on their characters individually, and with me being a big Vegeta fan, that made me very, very happy. I think that this film's story and how it plays out is very, very interesting. It actually has a good amount of backstory and flashbacks that actually gives us more information on the characters. I thought that the music for this was absolutely just spot on fantastic. It does an incredible job of pumping you up when the action starts. But the thing you're gonna love the most, which, was probably the biggest reason why most of us love this series, is the fighting. Now, someone made a statement a while back when they went to go see the Japanese premiere of this, and even though they couldn't understand exactly what was happening in terms of dialogue, they happened to mention that this has some of, if not some of the best looking fighting that you will ever see. And I'm here to confirm that. The fighting in this film is off the chain. It is just visually, it is incredible. I mean, it's a shame we can't get stuff like this in the normal animated series, but I'm glad that they saved it for a film, because this is absolutely worth the price of admission to see this in theaters. It was incredible. I saw new techniques, new abilities, new ways of seeing how these guys actually fight, and it did keep me on the edge of my seat. Now, I understand this is Dragon Ball, so there is like a slight bit of non-suspense, because at the end of the day, most of these characters are going to be alright, but there were some surprises. There was one character in particular that made an appearance that I wasn't expecting them to see, and I'm not going to say who it is, but let's just say that Broly ends up encountering someone who, let's just say, kind of schools him, and I think everyone in my theater had a damn good time seeing that, because Broly is this massive, just beast of a character, and this character just kind of shows up and just kind of does his thing, and it's like, yeah, that's pretty much what would happen. Another thing that I also liked was the voice performances. I think everyone in the cast did a phenomenal job. It's kind of hard to mess up voice acting. I don't think I've ever seen a voice actor mess up a Dragon Ball character in any movie, even going back all the way to the older ones. So that's good here. Another thing that I also really liked is some of the surprises in the story. I'm not going to spoil the ending, but let's just say that this film ends in a certain way that I wasn't expecting. It actually doesn't do the traditional style of how you expect most movies to do. And that's something I've actually noticed in this film, and I believe Resurrection F, where the ending didn't end the way I was expecting, and I think it made the movie that much better because of it. So if you're looking for just a damn good time, I think that this film pretty much will guarantee it by the end. Now, here are the only problems that I had with it personally. Number one is the Frieza character. Now, I know Frieza has a big following, but I think we've had so much of the character as of late that his threatness is severely lacking. I mean, when we think about Frieza's character, when we think all the way back to the Namek era, Frieza was a massive threat. You took this guy very, very seriously. But after having him, get killed by Trunks at the beginning of the Android series, and then him coming back again, and then the Tournament of Power, and then Resurrection F, it's just the more we see of this character, the less threatening he is. And that happened here. Despite him having a significant fight with Broly, it was probably my least favorite of all the fights I saw in this film, because you kind of saw what type of character he really is. And I'm just really worried that the more we're going to see of Frieza, the more of a joke he's going to be. And this is a character that used to be taken very, very seriously as like the most powerful being in the universe. And so moving forward, I really hope that we start using other villains. I mean, I don't mind if you want to start bringing back older ones, but let's cut back on the Frieza. And the second problem I had with it is with some of the characteristics of Broly himself. Now, for me, having so much information on how Saiyans work, I don't think that this film did a good enough job explaining how Broly was able to do the things he did. Now, maybe I missed something, but I understand how Saiyans get stronger, but I just don't quite understand how Broly was able to perform as well as he did in this film. Now, I understand in the original continuity, you know, Broly was like the legendary Super Saiyan, and that explained how he was so strong. But this film, I don't think did a good enough job just explaining how Broly was able to do the things that he could do, because he was massively powerful. And so you're like, where has this guy been all this time? It just kind of seems kind of strange that he's appearing now. And why hadn't we heard about this character soon? Now, I will say that this interpretation of Broly is 10 times better than the Kakarot-obsessed version that we had in the original. Like, technically it's non-canon. I do prefer this version better, but I just wish that we had a little bit more time to explain exactly how his powers work. And going back into the good, I will say this. There is a moment at the end of this film in which Goku does something that I don't, as far as I'm concerned, we've never seen him do this. And it was a pretty significant moment. And it just pretty much, that one moment alone, pretty much established that this was well within my top 3 favorite Dragon Ball movies of all time. It was that significant. But again, let's get back to the rating, because I missed that, talking about that in the good. So if I had to give Dragon Ball Super Broly a rating, I'm going to give this an A-. I don't think I need to tell you to get your ass to theaters and see this, because I think any fan of Dragon Ball will absolutely love this. And you'll even be surprised by a couple of surprises too. So that is my review for Dragon Ball Super. If you happen to see this film already, please share your thoughts with me and everyone else in the comments down below. And if you like this video, please feel free to subscribe and then press one of the links in the description down below to follow me on Twitter or friend me on Facebook to keep track of my future videos. And like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I'll see you next time.